now I'm scared if it knows how to open up the refrigerator. It's just a matter of time to open up the freezer door.
Oh, yeah, wherever you're keeping your snacks, he'll learn to get in there eventually. He'll watch you. You have to do it secret.
But they're so dumb in other ways.
They're like savant dogs. They can do math but can't spell their name.
I don't know. But our guest tonight, Steve, and you might go ahead and tell everybody who he is, a little bit about him, and then I'll say some stuff.
Well, Steve Barone, he's been filming all kind of UFOs within the last, actually more than a month, I believe, over Las Vegas. And a lot of them are right off of his back patio, and there's all kind of videos online that he puts out there. And some of them are very intriguing and unique, I will say that. And they're all over. You can Google it, he's on there, or just look him up, and there's called UFOs over Vegas.
Oh, yeah, and he's going to be on tonight, talking about UFOs over Vegas. Now, I think we got Ryan on the line. Hey, Ryan, are you there?
I am here.
Okay.
Hey, Ryan.
Hi, how's your day going,
Hey,
Ryan?
what's up, James? Oh, it's going. How about yourself?
Well, I'm sick, and I've been sick for 2 days. Yesterday, I couldn't even get out of bed. I had to force myself out here today because I got all these emails saying, you need to get back on the air. So here I am. Now, you're right. I've noticed like the National UFO Reporting Center hasn't really been, I wonder if he's okay.
Yeah, you know what? I always hear Peter talking that, it's either him and maybe one other guy that's usually manning the computer over there. So it does take a while for him to get all the updates up every once in a while. So every once in a while, this will happen.
Yeah. I should give him a call. I know Peter. He's been on our show probably about a dozen times in the past year and a half.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I talked to him on the phone one time. I actually called a couple times to report a sighting to him. So, yeah, he is a nice guy.
So what do you got for the listeners tonight, Ryan?
Well, I wanted to get your guys' opinion real quick on the whole Navy deal that's just broke out about the video. What do you guys think about that?
I don't have a real good feeling yet about it because I've read some stuff saying that it's nothing more than what the other was. Then I heard some stuff saying it's a hoax. So I don't know. I really haven't had a chance to research it enough yet.
Yeah,
well,
I understand what you're saying. How about you? How about you, James?
Yeah, I report on that story, I think last week sometime. The one general, because there was a file for Freedom of Information Act on the rest of it, and he kind of admitted there was more videos and more to that video. But however, he said they couldn't release it because of national security and it's top secret, and it would cause a lot of, I forget how he worded it, it could cause a lot of damage in different ways, and he didn't. It pretty much is what he said anyway.
Well, it could damage our national security.
Yeah.
Again, the equipment we have to film this stuff is really super sophisticated, and it's interesting how they caught it anyway, both off the fighters and off that one ship. So they caught it in two different things. They caught it off the fighter, off their video on their planes. They also caught it off of cameras, sophisticated cameras off of a ship that caught it and triangled it.
Right. And they got military grade stuff.
Well, yeah, it's not your dime store stuff, but you know what? They said absolutely they can't release it. So if anything new is supposed to be out, I don't know. I don't believe it.
Yeah, believe it when I see it. All right. First up, we got a sighting. This is from Carol, and she's from Tennessee, and this happened on the 13th. And she said it happened around 1:30 in the morning. She said she saw a triangle with another triangle with a blinking red light. But she said it was so close that she said she could swear she saw a window on the craft. And by the way, she said it also was making a humming noise. And it sounded pretty much like the sound that Terry Lovelace described. That's the best thing I could compare it to.
Terry Lovelace said it sounded like a parked diesel locomotive.
Yeah, that's what she said. At first, she said it was making a humming sound, and then she started to say. That's why I said I compared it to that, because once she started to make the sound, it sounded just like what Terry was saying. It sounded like a locomotive, pretty much.
Yeah, that was after the craft landed. Now, did it land or was overhead making that noise?
No, she said it was overhead, and then she said in a heartbeat it was way up in the sky again, to the point where she said she couldn't even make out the corners on the triangle anymore.
Interesting.
But yeah, that's all she said about that. But I asked if she could think of anything else. She's going to email me back here. So, all right.
Now I got a question to ask. I got to ask a question to you. Okay, Ryan. Some people are saying, and I've heard it for years, I could see aliens out the window, or I could see people. Creatures from, because it had windows and they were looking out. But if somebody is, some civilization so far advanced, why would they need windows? I mean, they would have major, not big screens, but some type of viewing equipment inside. I don't see why they would have windows and risk of any, whatever with glass or whatever it's compounded from. Why would they have windows? That's the part I always get suspicious of. Or you see that I saw this thing. It's like a L shape, and it was like over my house, and I could see like 30, 40 creatures staring at me. I get suspicious on those, but that's just me.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, too. You would figure they would have some sort of technology that would show them the outside without them having to look out a window.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
Yep, I agree.
The Barney and Betty Hill, they claimed that the craft they seen had windows and they seen beings in it.
Yeah, staring out the window at them.
Yep.
All right.
Well, we're a zoo. Remember that.
Oh,
and they're coming down to look at all the little animals.
Yeah, including us. All right, this next one here comes from Minnesota. And they didn't leave a name. It says, me and my mother they claim they saw a humanoid standing next to a craft. Now, this is from a pretty far away, he said. And it says, they saw another one with him, and it looked like they were looking at something on the outside of the craft. Now, they were riding four-wheelers at the time, and when they got up, I guess, parallel with them, that's when they decided to get into the craft. Now, like I said, he said this was from far off, and he said they had to have heard them because they were obviously on four-wheelers, and they're not quiet. But I guess they waited until they were, directly across from them to actually get in the craft and take off. Now, like I said, this is in Minnesota, and he said this happened around between 9:30 and 10 o'clock at night. Now, that one there, I'm waiting for an answer back on how far away they were, and also if they had missing time or anything like that they noticed. So, and he doesn't give any information on what they look like either. He just said they saw two humanoids. So, still waiting on a good explanation for that one.
Okay. What else you got?
Alrighty. All right. And this one here is from West Virginia. Her name's Jessica. It says, I was on a smoke break, and she was, I guess, putting in tile on a new kitchen floor. She said, I noticed a string of white orbs, all moving at the same speed, all moving in the same direction. She said, when it got up to the mountain, they all disappeared at the same time. Now, she said, after this happened, she heard a clicking sound, like a very loud clicking sound. And the orbs never appeared again, but she said she heard the clicking a couple more times after they disappeared. And I also emailed her back to see if anything else happened, I guess, a couple days after that or the day after, because to me, that's just such an odd sighting to see and then actually hear that sound. Because I know in past sightings, people have said they've heard a clicking sound, but that was usually for seeing stuff appear in the sky. So I don't know about you guys, but yeah, I've only heard that a couple times about the clicking.
Yeah, I've actually not heard any of it.
I've heard of one where I guess a guy and his son were out in a field farming, and they said they saw a craft. They heard a clicking, and then all of a sudden the craft came into view like out of a portal. And I guess the same thing happened whenever it disappeared. So I guess they had a good witness to it too. I guess his brother was a scientist actually, and he drove over there and he actually got to witness it. But that was back in the 70s. But that's one of the only other cases I've heard that involved a clicking sound.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I got one more here. Now, this one here is from Pittsburgh, and it comes from Janet. She said her and her sister were out on a smoke break, and they saw an orange orb floating above, I guess over top of them, and it wasn't too far off the ground, she said, but as it got directly over top of them, it zipped away all the way, I guess, to the left of them, and it just stopped. Then it hovered there for a second, and then it went back over top of them and went up even higher. And then I guess one of them went to go pull out their phone, and then it ended up disappearing on them. But that orange orb, around here, that seems to be a common occurrence. I just keep getting sightings about orange orbs around here.
Interesting. How many do you get a month?
Orange orbs, strictly them, I've probably gotten about 7 of those last month, and then this month I've gotten 5 already.
Oh, wow.
And then and then in July I got about 17 of them.
Interesting. We got to figure out what they are. Again, Ryan, why don't you give the email address for people can report sightings to you?
All right, it's Ryan, nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com.
Okay, Ryan, I want to thank you for coming on tonight, and we'll, I guess, hear you again tomorrow with some more reports.
All righty, sounds good, fellas. You guys have a good night.
We're going to. We're going to be talking about these, UFOs and stuff over Las Vegas, so it should be a quite interesting show coming up. Ryan, you stay and listen to it, because I think we all could be educated tonight. Something is going on over Las Vegas besides people gambling, so we'll be, ready for that one. So take care, Ryan.
All right.
Okay,
see ya.
All right, you guys have a good one. You too. Bye.
So
Bye.
I don't know. It's interesting. I can tell you that much.
It is, and I got a few questions too. Boy, I've been wondering and pondering what's going on. And this has been going on for a while too. It's not like one day.
Oh, yeah. It's very interesting. Anyway, we're going to be back in about 3.5 minutes. You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark. I'm Gary, the host, and my co-host, James Krischbaum, the guy who supports Kellogg's cornflakes and sugar frosted flakes from staying out of trouble. We'll be back.
Scintillas in the stream, hoping for what's true. I'm trawling for honor in this shallow pool. Borealis starlit crown arches over the Puget Sound. His hair treats her